Anytime we go into a profession, either we burn out or we run out. In rural areas, anytime you're in a rural area, the spotlight is always on you if you're an African American. The thing about today, we're not having many of us to go into the profession of state trooper. That's something that we need people like Willie as state troopers, because what they do, they sensitize. And think about being a minority in a majority country, you really have to withstand the scrutiny, not just from the white community, the Hispanic community. You have to stand the scrutiny from your own community.
Knowing him in law enforcement, he used to work at the Elberton Police Department until I know he departed there and went into Georgia State Patrol. And of course, back in the day, you didn't see a lot of African Americans back in those days in Georgia State Patrol. And of course, he had inspired me to be in law enforcement myself. Of course, back in the day too, working in the funeral business with C.W. Phelps Funeral Home, he used to come hang out a lot at the funeral home, and he would come talk to us young guys about just making a future, always letting us know that it's life after graduation, that we can do great things. And he always had that big smile and always wanted to give you great advice. I am just so happy of the great things that he's been doing in the communities, not only in the community of Washington, but just different communities all over the state of Georgia. I always spoke about God.
Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans were for me to go to college at the University of San Francisco. I had siblings coming after me, and the plans were for all of us to go to college. And my older brother was already in the military, so I'm just following suit. I went ahead and entered the military. Went from there to basics in Fort Knox, Kentucky. And so this sort of began my law enforcement career. Went through advanced individual training as a military policeman at Fort Gordon, Georgia. A military career, I was assigned to the Military District of Washington, where the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers, where President Kennedy was funeralized at. I was assigned to the unit that protected that base in canvassing at a recruiting station. So I got to come home for a whole year, assignment in Atlanta, Georgia, recruiting soldiers for the military and for the Military District of Washington. And got quite good at it. Came home, got a job at the police department in Elberton, Georgia.
I met Willie Burns in 1977 when I became a police officer at the City of Elberton Police Department. Willie Burns was very articulate, smart. We stayed in a lot of trouble not because we were bad policemen. Burns, who had the capacity to do his job, smart enough to do his job, and in the other police department would have been promoted, and would have been running the shift. They didn't like it, and as I always said, I used to constantly hear that he don't know his place, and his place was, I went to the same police academy you went to, because he showed me how to handle myself and to deal with a place that didn't like you, didn't appreciate you. He said, a lot of black men lose their job because they are good at it.
And from there, got a job with the State Patrol. I look at some of the Facebook posts. It reminds me somebody posted, who wants to listen to that clown? And very negative. And that's fine. because you're entitled to your opinion. But remember, God has a plan for you, plan for me. He has a plan for everybody. And even though you criticize me, it's part of the plan. So be it.
He was the smartest young man, black man I ever known. Computers back in those days, they just came out, and we need to do a background check on somebody. Willie could do it. Willie could run a computer. He could do just anything we needed to done at the police department. And I told Willie to his face, I said, Willie, you need to get to work for you. You're too smart to work at the police department. These people are jealous of you because of your knowledge.
I don't want to bore you, but I want to tell you that it's been a great journey.
I first came to know Sergeant Burns back in 1988. And that's when he worked in Atlanta out of the Executive Security's office, which was a branch that oversees the protection of the governor. During the time I've known him, he's moved up through the ranks from, he was corporal then, but sergeant to post commander. And after making post commander, he's worked at a lot of posts, and he worked at post 17, which was Washington. In 2000, our post was in need of renovation. So Sergeant Burns got the ball rolling to get us a new post renovated, to get it renovated.
This is a moment, what I'm real proud of as a Georgia State Trooper. This is when I first graduated from Trooper School in 1980. First time I saw a black trooper in State Patrol was George Pinkston. Then from North Metro to the Governor's Mansion with Joe Frank Harris as the governor. Then I served him. That's where my relationship really began with this young man right here, Governor Zell Miller. There wasn't that many African Americans on State Patrol. Zell always talked about being a how you turtle on the fence post. He always talked about that. How did you get there? How did the turtle get there? He'd be sitting on a fence post. Somebody had to put him there. So I always looked at it though, any accomplishment I made along the way, somebody helped me get there. And Linwood Volley. Linwood played football with Georgia Tech.
Willie Burns was always a trooper, ever since I can remember as a child. And when I got to be 5 years old, I wanted to be a trooper. And every time I saw Willie, I'm like, that's Willie Burns. And now that I know he is so much into God, it makes the whole story bigger to me, because I see myself following the same footsteps as Willie. And y'all called him Willie, I called him Sergeant First Class Burns. He was definitely my role model going forward as far as wearing that uniform. I'm telling you, there's nothing bigger on this setting in life than Willie Burns. And I thank God that he allowed me to go through the opportunity to meet him and to follow his similar footsteps.
So there's a lot more that you're going to learn about me as we go on, but they're just a hybrid of some of the things that I've done and some of the accomplishments. And we'll talk about, I don't think I'm finished yet, but I don't know what my next venture will be. I'll just leave it like that.